Nature gives us many important gifts that make life possible and comfortable. Places near forests usually have clean air, fertile land, and plenty of sunlight, which are very useful for living beings. Fertile soil helps plants grow, and sunlight is needed for plants to prepare food. Trees support life by giving food and shelter to animals, birds, and insects. Water is another valuable natural resource used for drinking and growing vegetables. All these natural resources are essential for survival. Without air, water, soil, sunlight, and plants, no living organism can exist on Earth. Humans are also a part of nature and depend completely on these natural treasures. Welcome to the one shot revision of Chapter 11 Nature's Treasures. Here we will explore all the important points from the chapter in a simple, fun, and engaging way so you can remember them quickly for exams. When we breathe deeply, more fresh air enters our lungs, helping them function properly. This is why breathing exercises are good for health. If we try to hold our breath, we soon feel uncomfortable and are forced to breathe again. This happens because the air we inhale contains oxygen. Oxygen is needed by our body to carry out all its functions. When breathing stops, oxygen supply reduces and the body cannot work normally. This clearly shows that oxygen is essential for survival. Just like humans, most living beings also depend on oxygen to stay alive. Oxygen helps all body activities to continue properly. Even a short break in oxygen supply can stop the body from functioning. This shows that oxygen is the most essential requirement for survival. Air is not a single substance. It is a mixture of different gases present all around the earth. The largest part of air is nitrogen, followed by oxygen, while gases like carbon dioxide and argon are present in very small amounts. When we divide air into 100 equal parts, most of it is nitrogen, a smaller part is oxygen, and only a tiny part is made up of other gases. Even though air is invisible, we can easily feel its presence through its effects. When air moves, it causes leaves to rustle, clothes to move on a clothesline, and pages to flutter. This movement of air is called wind. Wind can be strong, as during storms, or gentle, like a breeze. Thus, air and its movement play an important role in our daily life. When air moves and strikes a filky, it starts rotating. A filky is a paper pinwheel that rotates when air moves. When wind blows or when we run holding it, the moving air hits the blades and makes the filky spin. It helps us understand that moving air or wind has energy. The faster the air moves, the faster the filky rotates. A windmill works in the same way. Wind hits the large blades of a windmill and makes them rotate. This movement is then used to perform useful tasks like grinding grain, pulling water from wells, and producing electricity. In many places, several windmills are set up together in one area to make better use of wind energy. Such an area is called a windmill farm. Wind energy is clean and renewable. Just like air, water is also very important for life. And we realize its value especially when we feel thirsty. This helps us understand the importance of natural resources. India is one of the leading countries in using wind energy. Apart from Muppandal, Jaisalmer and Brahmanvale, there are many other large windmill farms across the country. Windmill farms convert wind energy into electricity, which is then supplied for daily use. We all know that water is essential for our everyday life. We need it for drinking, cooking food, bathing, washing clothes, and cleaning. It is also very important for agriculture and many industries. Although water covers a large part of the earth, most of it is present in oceans and seas and is salty. This saline water cannot be used for daily needs or farming. The water that we can use is fresh water. Fresh water is found in rivers, lakes, ponds, wells, ice sheets, snow, and underground. However, much of this fresh water is either frozen or deep underground, making it difficult to use. Only a very small amount of fresh water available on the surface is easily accessible. Because usable fresh water is limited, water is a precious resource and must be conserved by avoiding wastage. In our daily life, water is not always used efficiently. A lot of water gets wasted while washing hands, clothes, and utensils, taking long showers, watering plants, or brushing teeth with the tap running. Such small actions lead to a large amount of water wastage every day. This wastage can be reduced by simple habits like closing taps when not in use, repairing leaking pipes, using only the required amount of water, and reusing water whenever possible. There are also larger methods to save water, such as recycling used water and collecting rainwater through rainwater harvesting. Although our country has many rivers, lakes, and streams, these freshwater sources are getting polluted. Throwing plastic bags, wrappers, household waste, and industrial waste into water bodies pollutes them. Polluted water cannot be used by humans, animals, or plants. Therefore, we must use water carefully and prevent pollution to protect this precious natural resource. Since freshwater is limited, many regions in India face water shortages. In some places, people even have to travel long distances to collect drinking water. This shows that access to water is not the same for everyone. Therefore, it is our responsibility to use water carefully and avoid wastage. Along with conserving water, we must also keep it clean. Polluted water cannot be used by humans, animals, or plants. One effective way to conserve water is rainwater harvesting. In this method, rainwater is collected from rooftops and stored for future use. This practice is followed in many buildings, schools, and homes. Rainwater harvesting has been used in India since ancient times and helps reduce water shortage and save freshwater resources. In regions where water is scarce, people develop traditional methods to store water efficiently. One such method is the step well, which is called Bavdi in Rajasthan and Vav in Gujarat. These structures are designed to collect and store rainwater. They also gather water that slowly seeps in from nearby water bodies like lakes, ponds, and rivers. The deep trenches of step wells are lined with stone blocks. These stones allow water to pass through and get collected instead of flowing away. Such traditional water harvesting systems show how people in the past wisely conserved water. Learning about local water harvesting methods helps us understand the importance of conserving water even today. To remind people about the importance of water, World Water Day is observed every year on 22nd March. This day aims to spread awareness about saving water, preventing wastage, and ensuring that clean water is available for everyone. Conserving water today is necessary to meet the needs of future generations. You might have seen in many Indian households, water is offered to the sun in the early morning as a sign of gratitude for being the source of energy and life. The sun is the main source of energy on earth. In the water cycle, heat from the sun causes water from rivers, lakes, and oceans to evaporate and rise into the atmosphere as water vapor. This process is called evaporation. The sun is the primary source of energy for life on earth. We receive both heat and light from the sun, which are used in many ways. Heat from the sun helps in drying clothes and food items by removing moisture. Light from the sun is essential for plants to prepare their food through the process of photosynthesis. Plants form the base of all food chains, so animals and humans depend on the sun indirectly for food. Without heat and light from the sun, many daily activities and natural processes would stop. Therefore, the sun's energy is essential for the survival of all living beings. So, sun is the main source of energy on earth. Plants form the base of the food chain. Animals depend on plants for food and humans depend on both plants and animals. Thus, the flow of energy on Earth begins with the sun. Apart from supporting life, solar energy is also used by humans. Solar panels capture sunlight and convert it into electricity. The sun's energy can be directly used for cooking in solar cookers and for heating water in solar water heaters. Without the sun, life on Earth would not be possible. A large variety of plants and animals are found in forest and other natural habitats because these areas provide suitable conditions like sunlight, water, food, and shelter. This rich variety of life exists due to the continuous supply of energy from the sun. Forests are large regions covered with thick vegetation including herbs, shrubs, and tall trees. They support a rich variety of life and play an important role in maintaining balance in nature. Forests provide many useful products that humans depend on for food, medicine, and daily needs. At the same time, forests also supply food and shelter to animals and birds. Using forest resources responsibly helps protect wildlife and keeps forests healthy for the future. In nature, all living beings are connected and depend on one another for survival. A rich diversity of plants and animals helps maintain balance and ensures food availability. However, forest cover has been reducing over the years due to activities such as cutting trees on a large scale. Since forests take many years to grow, their loss cannot be easily reversed. Therefore, forests must be protected and used carefully so that they can regenerate naturally. To promote this idea, One Mahotsav is celebrated every year in July. During this event, people plant trees and spread awareness about the importance of forest, helping to increase green cover. So what happens if a large forest area is cut down? Cutting forest causes animals using their homes, increase in heat and pollution, problems like floods, droughts, and lack of rainfall, shortage of oxygen and forest products. So, continuous cutting of trees is harmful and forests must be protected for life to continue on Earth. India has a long history of protecting nature, especially forests. From ancient times, people followed traditions that respected trees and forest areas. Sacred groves are one such example, where forests were protected due to religious and cultural beliefs. Over time, people also took active steps to save forests. The Chipko movement is a well-known example of this effort. It started in the early 1970s in Uttarakhand. During this movement, local women stood around trees and hugged them to stop them from being cut. This peaceful movement highlighted the importance of forest and showed how common people can protect natural resources. Plants play an important role in maintaining healthy soil. Their roots bind the soil and stop it from being washed away by wind or rain. When leaves fall to the ground, they slowly decay and mix with the soil. This adds nutrients to the soil and makes it fertile. The fertile soil helps new plants and trees grow, continuing the cycle of life. This natural process shows how nature recycles its resources efficiently. Nothing is wasted, materials are reused again and again. This is called recycling in nature. Before planting, soil is loosened so that plants can grow properly. Loose soil has small spaces between its particles. These spaces allow air to reach the roots and give them enough room to spread and grow. Healthy roots help plants absorb water and nutrients easily. Soil is not just made up of particles, it also contains small stones, plant roots, and living organisms. Earthworms are one such important organism. As earthworms move through the soil, they turn and loosen it naturally. This improves soil structure and makes it more suitable for plant growth. Hence, earthworms are called natural helpers of the soil. Soil is made up of many components such as sand, small stones, insects, worms, and tiny organisms that cannot be seen easily. When plants and animals die, they decay and mix with the soil, adding nutrients to it. Soil collected from different places looks different because it contains different materials. Soil formation is a very slow process. Over thousands of years, rocks break down due to the heat of the sun, the action of water, and the activities of living organisms. This broken material slowly turns into soil. There are many types of soil, and each type is useful for specific purposes. Some soils are suitable for growing crops, while others are used to make bricks. Soil supports many kinds of plants and animals and is therefore a precious natural resource. Rocks are also very useful to humans. They are used in building houses, roads, temples, and dams. Different rocks have different uses. Slate for roofing, laterite for building, and granite, sandstone, and marble for construction and decoration. Humans have been using rocks as tools since ancient times, showing their importance in our lives. Rocks are made up of minerals. Minerals are natural substances found in the earth that have specific properties. Many important metals such as iron and copper are obtained from minerals. These minerals are very useful in our daily life. They are used to make airplanes, cars, jewelry, cosmetics, and electrical and electronic equipment. Even the mobile phones they use contain many minerals like gold, silver, copper, and cobalt. This shows how closely rocks and minerals are connected to our everyday activities. Rocks are extremely important, but they take a very long time to form, from thousands to millions of years, because they cannot be replaced quickly. Rocks and minerals are limited natural resources. Therefore, we must conserve them and use them responsibly. To use rocks and minerals, they need to be transported from one place to another. Most of the vehicles used for transportation run on fossil fuels, such as petrol and diesel. This is why it is important to learn about fossil fuels and understand their role in our lives. Fuels are substances that are used to produce energy. The most commonly used fuels are petrol, diesel, kerosene, natural gas, and coal. Petrol and diesel are mainly used in vehicles, while kerosene and natural gas are used for cooking. Coal is mostly used to generate electricity in power plants. Petrol, diesel, and kerosene are obtained from petroleum. Petroleum, natural gas, and coal are together called fossil fuels. They are called fossil fuels because they are formed from the remains of plants and tiny organisms that lived on the earth millions of years ago. These remains got buried under layers of soil and rocks and slowly changed into fuels due to heat and pressure. Fossil fuels take millions of years to form, but we are using them very fast. Since they are available in limited quantities, they may get exhausted in the future. When fossil fuels are burnt, they release smoke and carbon dioxide, which causes air pollution and harms living beings. Because of these reasons, we should use fossil fuels carefully and try to use alternate sources of energy such as solar energy, wind energy, and water energy, which are cleaner and renewable. In earlier times, people mainly used coal, firewood, and dung cakes as fuels for cooking. These fuels produced a lot of smoke, which caused air pollution and health problems, especially for people cooking inside houses. With the progress of science and technology, cleaner fuels like natural gas and liquefied petroleum gas, that is LPG, are now widely used. These fuels burn more efficiently, produce very little smoke, and are easier and safer to use. Because natural gas and LPG cause less pollution, they are better for human health and the environment. Everything we need to live comes from nature. The sun gives us heat and light. Rivers gives us water and plants and animals give us food. All these useful things that we get directly from nature are called natural resources. Humans also use these natural resources to make many things that make life easier, such as bulbs, furniture, bicycles, and solar panels. Since these are made by people, they are called human-made resources. Natural resources are of two main types. Some resources can be renewed by nature if we use them carefully. For example, air, water, and forest can come back again through natural processes. These are called renewable resources. That is why we should not waste them. However, some resources take a very long time, millions of years, to form. Once they are used, they cannot be replaced quickly. These are called non-renewable resources. Fossil fuels, minerals, rocks, and soil belong to this group. If we use them carelessly, they will get exhausted. Therefore, it is very important to use all natural resources wisely so that they are available not only for us but also for future generations. When we move from a village to a city, we can clearly notice a change in air quality. Villages usually have more trees, less traffic, and cleaner air. Cities, on the other hand, have many vehicles and fewer trees, which affects the air we breathe. Most vehicles run on fossil fuels like petrol and diesel. When these fuels are burned, they produce smoke and harmful gases. This smoke mixes with air and causes air pollution, making the air unhealthy to breathe. One important reason for cleaner air in villages is the presence of trees, which help purify air and provide oxygen. In cities, cutting down trees reduces this natural cleaning process. To reduce air pollution, people are now looking for better alternatives. Electric vehicles are one such solution. They do not burn fossil fuels and do not release smoke, so they help keep the air cleaner. Since we depend on natural resources every day for transport, energy, and comfort, it is our responsibility to use them wisely and choose environment-friendly options to protect our air and health. So, we rely on natural resources every day: air to breathe, water to drink, soil for growing crops, and food from plants and animals. Humans also use these resources to create tools, furniture, electricity, and many other useful things. Since these resources are limited, it is very important to use them wisely and avoid wastage. When we conserve natural resources, we not only meet our current needs but also save them for future generations. Using resources responsibly also helps maintain a healthy environment, keeping nature balanced and life sustainable. So what we learned so far? Everything we need to live comes from nature. Resources like air, water, sunlight, forests, soils, rocks, minerals, and fossil fuels are called natural resources because they are directly available from the earth. Humans also create human-made resources like tools, furniture, and vehicles using these natural resources to make life easier. Natural resources are divided into renewable and non-renewable types. Renewable resources can be replaced naturally within a short time, such as air, water, and forest. Non-renewable resources like coal, petroleum, minerals, rocks, and soil take millions of years to form and cannot be replaced quickly. Since all living beings depend on these resources, it is very important to use them wisely. A responsible use ensures that resources are available now and for future generations, while also protecting the environment. So with this, we have completed one short revision of the chapter Nature's Treasure. I hope you found it easy to understand. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We will see you again in our next video. Bye bye.